Good evening everyone, Loke here, and today for our Mystery Monday we have some Magic the Gathering trading cards. Dominaria, which is the new set that came out yesterday. Now, I've been into Magic for about 3 or 4 years now. I got into it mostly around M15 when that core set came out. And one of my favourite sets were the Shadows of Innistrad and Eldritch Moon set, just because I really appreciated the Gothic stylings and some of the mechanics such as Madness really fit my playstyle. I'll try and keep this video sort of like down the centre line so that those who haven't seen Magic the Gathering before, they can get a little bit of a flavour of what opening a booster like this is like. I'll try and explain a few of the mechanics if they come up in these cards. For those of you who are slightly more knowledgeable, it might just be interesting to see what some of the uncommons and rares are like. And again, yeah, let's get this open and see what we've got in this today. So I'm always a little bit careful with my opening of the cards, because I really do like the packaging. But this one's quite finicky to get open. There we go. So we've got that just there. You can see you've got the little seal there. This is how I open my boosters. Everyone opens them slightly differently. I'm like this because I really like the keeping the little foils. I use them to separate my cards. Oh, and they spread all over the place. There we go. So yeah, I get to keep this little foil here. So let's have a quick look at some of the cards that we've got. So we've got the Llanowar Scout. It is a 2-mana green common creature. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So that's a lot more ramp, and it being a 1/3, it's a nice little defender. So we then have Rat Colony. Rat Colony is an interesting one. So I'm very much a black-blue player. For those of you who don't know Magic that well, that's sort of like using a lot of like life drainy sort of things, and using sort of like very sort of sneaky tactics of like preventing people from doing things or manipulating the battlefield, which is very much a blue sort of thing. I'll put a link in the description below to some of Mark Rosewater's Drive to Work podcasts, if you are interested in about how the different colours relate to the different sort of like play styles. They're what really helped me understand those sort of things. But yeah, back onto this. So Rat Colony, it's a rat. Yes, that's what a colony of rats would be. So we've got Rat Colony gets +1/+0 for each other rat you control. The deck can have any number of cards named Rat Colony. So as standard for a standard deck or casual, you can have four of one card, not including lands, which you can have as many as you want, or legendaries, which you can only have one of in a deck. Whereas this breaks that system. So you can have as many rat colonies as you want, which would lead to some interesting mechanics, because you can then have multiple rats getting massive rats. So yeah, that could be like a 21. So they'd be very easy to kill, but very vivacious. Let's see. So we now have a Befuddle. Let's come to here. It's a 2 and a 1 island. It's an instant, so you can cast that at any time that you want during the game. Target creature gets -4/0 until end of turn. Draw a card. So that's very much like a defensive card. So if something were to attack you and it were, say, 2 damage and 3 health, and the thing you were blocking with had 2 health, the attacking thing would normally kill your defending thing. So playing this upon it would reduce the attacking creature's power to 0, because it would have a -4, but power cannot go below 0. Therefore, no damage will be dealt to your creature and it would survive. So it's those sort of defensive techniques which blue can be quite helpful for. And then drawing a card just allows it to cycle through, which means you can get more cards. More cards means more solutions. More solutions means greater chance of winning. Benalish on a guard. So we've got another 2-drop here. It's a human knight, so you can get some sort of like combinations of cards, tribal decks, I believe they are called, which sort of like synergize with one another. Benalish Honor Guard, I almost said Honor, gets +1/+0 for each legendary creature you control. So the more legendary creatures that you control, the greater the power of this card, which therefore allows it to kill bigger creatures. So we've got, our first red, I believe. So red is very much sort of like the aggressive, punchy, powerful stuff. Skirt Prospector, there we go. 1-drop, so they're quite cheap to get out onto the battlefield. Creature, Goblin, sacrifice a Goblin, add 1 red mana. So it's sort of its own ramp, which is essentially something that you can sacrifice to get the mana, which is the little costs here. So you can then pay that extra mana by sacrificing creatures to get out bigger things. So it's very much a self-sacrifice thing to get out big things, which is quite nice. We've got another green Corrosive Ooze. Oozes. Reminds me of the Gelatinous Cube in D&D. Wizards of the Coast, or I'll bring that slightly closer. Wizards of the Coast are the same people who developed D&D, so that's nice to focus. That's quite nice to see. There we go, nice and focused. So, whenever Corrosive Ooze blocks or becomes blocked by an equipped creature, destroy all equipment attached to that creature at end of combat. So this is quite a nice effect. If there's quite an annoying creature that has lots of abilities attached to it due to items, which are what the equipment sort of title refers to, this can be quite helpful in depowering those more powerful creatures. Blood Tallow Candle, so we see our first artifact. It is 1 to get onto the battlefield, but it costs 6 to actually use. Sacrifice Blood Tallow Candle, target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn. So it's -5 to power and -5 to defense. -5 to defense, if you get something down to 0 or below, that creature would die. And therefore it is no longer on the battlefield. There are obvious exceptions to this. Well, that is the sort of like core mechanic to that sort of thing. Academy Journey Mage, so we're still on our commons, we're getting slowly towards the back. So this is a 5-drop. This spell costs 1 less to cast if you control a wizard, so it synergizes with wizard decks. When Academy Journey Mage enters the battlefield, return target creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. So it's got an ETBT effect, enter the battlefield. Which means that if you can then get it returned to your hand, you can then recast it to get that into the battlefield effect again, which it can be quite helpful. So yeah, that's got the human wizard. The flavour text is quite nice. We don't choose who comes here, we choose how long they stay, which is quite nice because it relates to its effect. Wind Grace Acolyte. Wind Grace Acolyte more like. So we got a 5-drop creature cat warrior. Meow. It's got flying. When Windgrace Acolytes enter the battlefield, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard, and you gain 3 life. So this very much is more of an advanced technique. I'll be right back with you. I'm dying slowly, you can tell I'm losing my voice. Sorry about that. Acolytes of the Lost Lord Windgrace fight to keep Urborg relics out of our hands. That's just a little bit of flavour text in terms of world building. So yeah, this really depends on your playstyle. Black is very much about self-sacrifice to get life, which you can observe here. There are some effects, such as Delirium in the Shadows over Innistrad sets, which would use the top 3 card discard sort of thing. But yeah, not necessarily the best thing that I would necessarily want to play with. Keldon Raider is a 4-drop. You can see it's got 2 red mana cost, which means you need 2 mountains and then 2 of any colour to play this. So another human, so it synergise well with the others. When Keldon Raider enters the battlefield, you may discard a card if you do draw a card. So that works with madness effects, where if you discard something, you can pay another cost for it to then play it. And again, it allows for cycling of cards you might not necessarily need to get to those that you do. Let me see. So we now have. So this is our first uncommon of the pack here. So it's a land. So these are the things that you use to pay the costs. So you can see that is the cost up here. When Zorfin Void enters the battlefield, scry 1. So on a lot of Magic cards, it describes what the mechanic does. So you look at the top card of your library. You may put that card from the bottom of your library. That just allows you to filter through your deck, and and then just add 1 colourless mana, which just, yeah, lets you essentially play things. It's always good. Always a good thing. Sara Angel. So I remember this in the M15 set. It doesn't look like it's changed at all. 5 cost, as I remember. Flying and Vigilance. Flying creatures can attack anything, but can only be blocked by other flying creatures or creatures with reach. Vigilance means that once it's attacked, it doesn't tap. Tap being the term for when a creature has attacked and can no longer defend for that turn. So, yeah. And then the angel remembers her past lives like dreams. A song held up meadows. Her blade drove back darkness. Her wings carried her across the ages. I do like the flavour text of magic cards. It is very good. Ooh, Urgoros the Empty. Urgoros the Empty one. You've got our first legendary creature. You can only have 1 of these in a deck. In Eldritch Dragon something, ETH, this would be a potential commander, otherwise known as commander. It's a 6-drop, it's got flying, so that's quite useful. Whenever that thing, the empty one deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card at random. If the player can't, you draw a card. So that can be quite helpful. It's not necessarily the most useful effect for a commander. Yeah, it's got nice artwork. I'll bring it a little bit closer again. I'm quite a fan. Come on, focus. There we go. I'm quite a fan of the Magic the Gathering artwork. It is one of the things that got me back into Magic. There we go. And as the phantom flies overhead, the city of Vanish screams in silence. Ooh, this is an interesting one. So, I haven't seen the Saga cards before, and it is our last card. It is the rare. So you can see that the little gold symbol denotes the rarity of the card. As the Saga enters... Focus. As the Saga enters, and after your draw step, add a lore counter. Sacrifice after 3. So when there's 1 lore counter, return target instant card from your graveyard to your hand, so that allows you to play more cards. 2. Return target sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. And 3. Until end of turn, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for that copy, so it allows you to duplicate the effects. I really like the artwork. It is really quite a nice one. It's like a nice map. Who doesn't love a map? I like the whole border effect as well. Rares are really quite nicely made and put together. And yeah, you've even got the little like hologram there to prove that it is in fact a rare. And then we've got a mountain. Because why not? Why not a mountain? And a saproling. And a saproling, yes. Anyway, yeah, that is today's little set of cards. Just to open one of those up. To talk a little bit about Magic the Gathering. I always love talking about Magic the Gathering. I cannot say enough about it. Absolutely love it. So yeah, if you enjoyed today's video, yeah, it's come back to that shill part again. If you did enjoy today's video, leave a like, comment and subscribe. If not, that's perfectly fine as well. Those sorts of things can get crushed under mountains like this little thing. I think it's an erupting volcano. Yes, even volcanoes can get squished. So yeah, again, thank you for watching today's video. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Good night.